Welcome to Factorio and welcome to a new weekly update on the progress of our Twitch base. Well, thank you, thank you Research for completing. This is just for highlights. This is going to be a summary of all the things that we're working on our Twitch base, so that if you have somehow forgotten that I'm streaming at Twitch, then you can easily catch up by watching these episodes. They are short, compressed summaries of what's going on, some of the design challenges, the planning and the execution of what we do. And then you can jump on over to Twitch, where I'm streaming Factorio usually on Tuesday, Thursdays, and Sundays at 8 p.m. Central European Time. But you can come on at 8 p.m. Central European Time any day because, well, that's where I'm streaming pretty much every day. Love it. So anyway, and if you don't, then you can also just get this as an inspiration for our very advanced, expensive 10 times science Factorissimo building here with mining drones, and we're going to catch up with where we left off at the previous end of the previous one. We were sort of starting to build our first hub, and we just built this design here. This is ready. This was submitted by Zephyr Hash, so pretty cool that we can do these kind of things where I can just issue a request for a design, and then someone can sort of have fun designing it off while I'm not streaming, and then we can take a look at it and make some adjustments afterwards. I think that's a pretty fun idea to integrate into the base. Now, the issue or the main parts of this will be power. We can't keep living off this power forever. We need to deal with biters. They are quickly evolving and they're now inside our area. And as well, we need to continue teching, because right now we're stuck with, we are getting some blue signs, but blue signs, really what you want for the blue signs is you want to get to robots, and that's going to be our objective, how to get to robots during the summary of these. So let's jump forward and see what we've done this was at the end of the last summary. So let's see what we did in the next stream. Here we are again at the base, and from the overview, it's kind of difficult to see what has changed. You can see the number of drones is gradually going up. This is a representative of the number of regular subscribers that are subscribed to my Twitch channel. So every time someone subscribes or resubscribes with a paid sub, then it increments by one. And so that's going to be how we sort of scale up in terms of how much we can mine out of this. Here we have the first build that we did. This is now operational, and I really like the idea of doing this where you find some material. In this case, it was Barthak. We're mining out here, getting into the different locations. They are just still like the basic ones that take one yellow belt in, one yellow belt out. And then we also just used a stockpile of green circuits that we had from back in the day. We can continue to use that for a while now. This one is dedicated to gears, and then it goes into this hub. And it's now working. So we can now go in here and pick up most of the things we want. We don't have stuff like, it's like medium power poles, for example. Anything that needs copper is not in here. So no turrets either. But we have most of the things we want. And that's really good. Also, we're starting to make red belts, which is really, really expensive. If you look at this here, this is 22.5 for a red belt. That's a lot. A single red belt, 22.5. And this is 5 belts. So it gets excruciating 182 for an underground red belt. Yeah. Then we're also starting to work on, don't run in front of the car, work on some more advanced designs. This is an advanced design that takes 2 red belts in and gets 2 red belts out. So this is now suddenly 4 times as effective as one of the small ones. And that's going to be handy for some of the future progress, the future designs. Let's have a look on another part of it that we've built. We're just going to be driving through this, because we are now working our way, great driving, right? We are working our way towards getting better power. Better power in, well, that was probably not great. There we go, no one saw that. Better power, in my case, I have decided that's going to be solar. I don't think I can leapfrog to, well, I've decided that I'm not going to be trying to leapfrog to uranium without going through solar first. So what I'm doing is I am going towards solar. That means we have over here, we just have this basic one that just makes a lot of basic oil processing. And we're now taking a bit of the sulfur out, a bit of iron and copper as well. And then we have our battery build. Battery build is, of course, for the accumulators, and later on also for the robot frames. So that's ready. Also, we put sulfur because we might as well just put some sulfur in, and that sulfur will be, or sulfuric acid, sorry, sulfur in, sulfuric acid out. Sulfuric acid is, of course, for two things. It's going to be for blue circuits really far in the future, but it also is going to be for the uranium mining, which I would want to start sort of in the not too distant future. So that means right now we have our hub that makes it a lot easier, the first hub, a lot easier to get to work on things and just grab stuff. This one will gradually be taken out, only taken out when we have the rest things, like anything that requires copper is here. That means turrets and power poles. So once we have those, well, we can really retire. Cool. Let's jump and forward and see what we can do in terms of this solar, get some solar power established from here. Here we are, and this is, you can see already a few things here. We were starting to get attacked from the north, so I put in a very basic perimeter wall. There's no belt feeding it, there's no nothing, it just put in 20 ammo in each. So we are straining our ammo production quite a bit, but that will just guard against attacks coming from north, and just means, okay, we can kind of relax on this. We've also built it on the western front and a bit, half of it on the eastern front. So the kind of the northern hemisphere is now protected, but the south is very bad, and that's definitely something we need to take a long, close look at. Also, if we look at evolution, we're up to 84. If you know the stats, then at 90 we start getting green biters, and let me tell you, these gun turrets do not really stop green biters very easily. They can stop 1 or 2, but they're not going to be stopping 10. So that's also nice to have like a hard timer on this. Let's jump in. We built the batteries last time, and all of the batteries are simply going to be fed in here and become accumulators. Very simple, small build. Take some iron in from one side, take some batteries in from the other side, and then take this out. This is, the design here is pretty crazy that I want 1.5 per second, but that's just how I needed to do some kind of metric here, and that's what we do. So I said 1.5 accumulators per second. That also means that I also want 1.5 solar panels per second. We are also going to flip this on so you can see that it is now grown to 221 is what we have available. So it's very nice. Thank you for the support on making further progress here. Now, this is where we see we have a big mining operation, but even though we have a big mining operation, it's just not even close to keeping up with 4 red belts, obviously. But it is a bit unfortunate, but that's unfortunately how it is. I have also put like an absolute absurd amount in here, which I kind of maybe regret. So you can see here how big these are. This is going to be 2 red lanes in, so it's 60 in, 60 out, 60 in, 60 out, 60 in, 60 out, and this one here is a design for steel that also takes like a 30 inbound and then something outbound. That's a bit weird that it's not fully up there. This is probably one that isn't filtered correctly. So, oh, that one. This one has never gotten anything. And now it works. Now it'll get the right number. There. Yes. Now we got the right number. So you can see we have now, again, we need 120 iron inbound and 120 copper inbound. That's not a big surprise. That's not happening. Here we have this beautiful, beautiful build that I really like. This can also be used for other things, but right now it's just used for this one, which will produce, I believe it's 24, well, it's 24 copper per second, but look at the quantities coming in here, or required to come in here. That is absurd, but that's how it is with this this design. And all the way at the end, we're building this rather modest little build. That one, it's coming in and giving us some solar panels, and that's actually giving us way more solar panels than we need. And you can see here we are starting to build the first little solar panel build. I think I'm going to move, well, I am going to move it up to this area here. That's going to be a good place to build solar because it's kind of out of the way, and there isn't any materials in it yet. So that's really a big step forward, getting solar power. If we look at the power right now, obviously solar power is not really doing much. It's just peaking out here at 8 megawatts of power, and we're up here using 90 megawatts of power. So that's not much. But as we scale up and get more things operational, then we will definitely need more power, and it would be nice to sort of be phasing out the oil power, because pollution is also a problem. Not only sort of the total pollution created because it adds to the evolution Look at that, how much is coming from the pollution. That's just no way of avoiding it in this case. And then if I can lower the pollution, that would just be nice. It'll also just less pollution out there. Okay, so let's see what, now that we have power done, we have a bit of work done on the perimeter defense. What is the next thing? Well, if we want to work towards robots, it's going to be, first of all, securing the rest of the perimeter, and then looking also at the advanced oil processing. So let's do that. Now you can see we have the whole perimeter safe, well, safe-ish, because pollution evolution is getting dangerously close. Of course, at this point, now that I'm done killing these, and hopefully the pollution is retracting a bit because we have more solar power, then it'll go slower towards the 90%, but it is definitely getting there, and that is a problem. But perimeter is resolved. Power is looking much better now. If we look at here, this is the factory buildings are switching on, because unfortunately the way that it works here, I can't usually do what I usually do and just disable these with circuit wires, because these are either taking power in or going out. They can't be doing balanced power. So if I disable them, then they can't re-enable again, and it's a bit complicated. So I'm just going to leave them there until I feel really confident that we have enough solar, and at that point I'll just switch them off completely. But as you can see, we are not at all using all of the solar panels. It never peaks here, and we're never using the accumulators. So that is good, but I'm going to continue to expand this as we progress, because, well, of course we are. Let me just remove the pollution overlay. But the main part is doing this design. This, of course, took a bit of time. It's made at a nice ratio, and it takes, I don't know how much it actually takes in. How much is it consuming? It consumes 300 per second, so it's not like great. And I have just put modules in here, speed modules and productivity modules, but I have not made it ready for beacons, because beacons are just infinitely far away, so that I don't really feel this need for it. But this build is something I can just stamp down somewhere else. Also, we can look at it and say, okay, 22 megawatts of power. That's not overwhelming amounts. It's something. And the point is, it works like it always does. It prioritizes the conversion of lubricant, and then only once the lubricant is done, then it will continue the flow in here to be converted, and convert everything into petroleum, which we have up here, and that will just be replacing the old petroleum. This build is now removed. Well, it's not quite removed. I still have it, but because I want to make sure that I gradually empty what's in here. There's no point in not doing that. So let's keep this around. And that means we have lubricant. With lubricant and with batteries, we now have all the things we need in order to make the robots. And robots, that's definitely the big thing we want to do. And this was a difficult one, and it's been something. See, the thing is with this, you always get distracted. There are biters attacking, and then every single thing here just tends to run out. And then suddenly this one is not enough because they've eaten out the majority that's close. So you need to start moving it or something, because now this is not working fast enough, and then the whole thing slows down, and that's why the blue science is low, and that means everything, all the science is low. And that's the deal of it. We also have, we are also preparing the second hub, so that's going to be one of the next things, so we can finally transition out of our jumpstart base. We've also consumed all of the copper as well, so now that we don't have copper or iron in the starter base, we just have a bit of stone and a bit of coal, which will gradually be consumed as well. Let's take a look at the final episode of the week, and just have a look at where, if we do get those elusive robots activated. And so here we are. We have extended our solar field, and PJGR has been so gracious to bless us with his presence right in the middle of it. So luckily PJGR 74 is a short name, so it didn't destroy too much, but it looks nice just in the middle of the solar field. There we go. Thank you for that. It's probably not going to be the first one we're going to take out, but it's there now. But you can expand it that way, and we can expand it that way. That's great. And what I just absolutely have to mention is, I have not made a spaghetti base like this in forever. It feels good and it feels bad at the same time. Just the fact that I just go like, oh, I need some, let's take this. I run out of stone. Okay, let's just get some stone. Yeah, fine. Let's get it from here, because I have a 6 left. I have no idea what it was. Baked beans, I think. It's baked beans 256. That was here, not anymore. And then we just take it, and then you can see here, this one is going up and going in here and going into our new build. Oh, don't look at it. We'll go there soon enough. We're going to start here. We have the batteries and the lubricant that we built in the previous episodes. So we are now taking it this way and going by this beautiful location. And instead of continuing, we are actually going to turn left a bit. We have an overhaul here of our hub area because it now needs to feed into 2 hub locations. We are getting steel and copper in here. We're getting some stone bricks, and then I just put in some steel, some concrete that we've also built somewhere over here. This one's just some basic concrete. And then we go in. This beautiful hub is also created by Zephyrhash, and it is really weird. Like, it has this roundabout that just flows around, but it gets everything done. All the things that we're missing, like pipes and pipes and things that require pipes. Basically, that's what it. Pipes and things that require pipes, and copper and things that require copper. All this requires copper wire, so that's part here. All this is the power poles, and then all of the rest here. Also, we are making the uranium thing, so we are actually having 8 nuclear power plants that are ready, and what we're going to be working on sort of future is getting some nuclear power up and running. Not because we really need nuclear power, but actually we don't need nuclear power, not with the amount of solar power we have available right now. We have plenty, but the thing is, you can see here now we're actually consuming more than what our buildings can supply. But it's mainly the fact that I also need to do this, so you can see that we're now up to 268 miners. And yeah, every single one is being consumed or is being active. Of course, some of them are presently just a bit idle, but that's how it is. But the hub it probably doesn't need this many, but it's something we can just go back and forth on and figure out how many we want to assign to each thing. This is going to be the next big thing. This is where we make the flying robot frames. That was a bit of a difficult design. We have some iron and copper in. This is both iron and steel built in a combined. So this thing is making the steel. Why is it bigger? Because then it matches the actual consumption rate, and this one is smaller, so it actually matches. So this goes here, gets a bit of green signs, green circuits that we need. We need green circuits, we need iron, we need steel, and we need lubricant and batteries. All of those things coming into this location, into this rather advanced build. But this build it's working, it's good, it's nice. It gets the engines, the electric engines, into the flying robot frames. The flying robot frames are going out. The flying robot frames going out means that we actually have it both available for robots, and we have it available for later on when we need to get to the yellow signs, because yellow signs is definitely one of the next things on the agenda. And I said it, I have robots. There are 2, and that is plural, so the title of this is actually correct. We have robots. I have not built any roboports. I have not built any of this. We just barely managed to get this operational. And that will be the next thing, is figuring out what are we going to use the robots for. So this is also like an opportunity for you to just start yelling also in the comment section, because the next stream is going to be tonight and then also Tuesday. So if you want to now that you're fully up to date, if you want to hang out and weigh in on what the next steps are and actually see the base getting assaulted by green biters while I am absolutely unprepared, then tonight, that is a bit of an exception that it is tonight, Monday, but otherwise it's Tuesday, Thursdays and Sundays at 8 p.m. Central European Time on Twitch TV/Nilaus. You're very welcome to drop by, and I hope that you want to check it out. I'm having an absolute blast with this series. It just really forces me to play in a very different way than I'm usually. You can see no city blocks, very little in terms of sacred pathing here, and it's just an awful spaghetti mess, and I have so much fun with it. So do come on and check it out. Otherwise, maybe just watch it here, or if you can't watch it live, then I also have on my secondary VOD channel, I have all the VODs available from the Twitch team, so you can watch that at your own leisure if you want. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, well, you're welcome to leave a like. And of course, if you are, for some reason, are watching this and not subscribed to the channel, well, maybe consider that. Thank you for watching. Until next time, take care and stay effective.